Gearbox Ranch Granny here today. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are going to join us. We're grooving today, really living it up. I made some rolls. Now, these are made with pumpkin puree. You remember last fall when I took whole pumpkins, made puree, and put it in the freezer? Well, I've been playing with it with recipes, come up with this, and this is so good. The rolls are similar to like a potato roll, but these I used pumpkin. I used 3 cups of the pumpkin puree. Now, I did let it thaw first before I used it. Made a real nice little liquid. I put it on the stove with 2 cups of sugar, and I heated it up to 110 degrees. And the reason we heat it up is we want our yeast to grow. Then I add 2 packages of yeast, cover that baby up, and let it sit for about an hour. When I come back now, that's a great thing about this, is you can leave it and come back and leave it and come back until you get it finished. You can do other stuff. When I come back, you'll notice little bubbles around the side. That is great. That means your yeast is growing. That's what that baby's supposed to do. You got to grow it. Now, then I add a 3rd cup of oil and 5 cups of flour. Now, this is great because you can do it. It's super easy. I put that all in a mixing bowl and mix it real good. Now, it's going to be real loose, almost like a cake mix. Don't you worry about that. We are going to cut out a step by doing it this way. Leave it good and thin. Cover it back up and leave it in a warm place for 1 more hour. Excuse me. So when you come back in about an hour, then you will add 2.5 to 3.5 cups of flour. Just enough to where your dough is stiff enough to work it. Just so it doesn't stick real bad to your hands. You don't want it too dry. You want it just so I add 2.5 cups of flour, and then I just keep adding a little more with putting it in my hands and rubbing it in and kneading the dough. And like I said, I keep it kind of moist because it's easier to knead. You just have to knead it long enough that it's soft and all the flour is in it. Excuse me. You don't have to knead it for 20, 30 minutes. It doesn't take that long. It just takes a few minutes to get that flour in there. Then I pinch it off into little balls, probably about 2-inch balls, and I lay them on my baking dish. And I do spray it with a little so it doesn't stick. Lay that on my baking dish, set my oven for 350 degrees. Now, while my oven's heating up, I take 1 egg and 1 teaspoon of milk, and I will whip the snot out of that egg. I will just beat it up real good. Then I take a pastry brush and I brush my rolls. Now, that recipe made 36 rolls, and I had a little left for a little bitty bread tin. Then I take, like I said, I take that whisked egg and milk mixture, and I coat them. Now, you can use that same mixture anytime you make rolls. If you'll coat them with that little egg mixture, it'll keep the top soft. They won't get hard, and it makes a beautiful golden color. Let me show you these. These are my, see if we can get that where you can see them. They are just beautiful. And I cooked those for about 30 minutes. Look at that. That is a soft, beautiful roll. Gonna put a little butter on it. Put some honey on it. Oh! This stuff is great. This one is going for supper. Now, we're going to have pork chops, mashed potatoes and gravy, and these homemade rolls. Oh, Lord, I wish you could join us here on the ranch. It's going to be just out of this world. Anyway, this is super easy, and I love it. But any roll recipe, you can just, like I said, use that egg mixture. It keeps those tops just really nice and pretty. If you ever have any questions, remember, you can You can always contact me on Facebook, Gearbox Ranch, and I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. And I like questions anyway. Comments, or if you have something you've always wanted to try and you'd like Granny to try it, Granny will try it. I ain't scared. Well, not right now anyway. Well, this is Gearbox Ranch Granny. And remember, pray to your Savior, Jesus Christ. God bless every one of you. And I'll see you next week. Paul! Biscuits ready! Oh, you're going to be excited.